Let's move on. Athing Mu, Gordon. I'm very excited about this story. She's running the mile at Millrose, and I'm just ecstatic about this. I saw the headline, and I give her just so much credit for jumping in this race because this is a legit mile field. This isn't her just running an off distance in a minor meet. No, she is running against a stacked group of athletes here. You have the top four women from the US Olympic trials in this race. You have two recent NCAA champions in this race in Anna Camp Bennett and Sage Herda. You have Constance Klosterhalfen, bronze medalist in the 5,000, sub four in the 1,500. Jessica Hull is sub four in the 1,500. Josette Norris is sub four in the 1,500. This is going to be so much fun to watch. And seeing her in any event is cool. But I think there was an air of inevitability in the 800, at least when it came to the Millrose Games. Because you see the field and you're like, all right, Athing Mu, we just watched her dominate. What more is she going to prove at the Millrose Games? What's the most she can get out of the Millrose Games in an 800? Probably not a lot because we expect her to win. She go and win. But this race really opens up limitless possibilities because you look at this field and it looks like basically an Olympic trials final, missing a couple people, but adding in some international athletes in Klosterhalfen and Hull that make it really resemble a top flight 1,500-meter field. So I couldn't be more excited for this. I give her a ton of credit for doing it. I don't know what it means long term. And I also am completely at a loss trying to predict a mark, trying to predict a place. I have no idea. This race goes fast. Purrier ran that 4:16 a couple of years ago, but I don't even know where to begin in trying to figure out where Athing Mu would finish in this field because it seems as if her talent doesn't have any limits, but also because this competition is legitimately tough competition.
Yeah, I try to think about how this race will play out as well because if this is like a 4:29 race, I think she can win. But I don't think it's going to be, right? I think it's going to be low 4:20s, high 14s. There's going to be a lot of PRing that goes down. I mean,
Mhm.
El Purio ran 4:16 in this race. I think that there's going to be, you know, two athletes who break two athletes who break 4:20 and then like three athletes who break 4:25 or something like that. I think it's
Yeah,
going to be in that type of because you look at these PBs, you see some 4:30s here, some 4:31s. Those are all going to
yeah,
get shattered. Like Jessica Hall, she's not running 4:31. She's going to run like
right.
4:21.
Get rid of the
So,
PBs. Look at the
yeah.
1,500 conversions, except Purrier. Purrier's PB is a legit indoor PB.
Yeah. And
Klosterhalfen as
Klosterhalfen.
well, because that was the
Yeah.
same race that they did that. Everybody else's PB is not really representative of how good they are.
I've been trying to think of how I think this race is going to play out. I think it's going to play out. I think Athing Mu is going to go to the back. I think she's going to just try to ride the train for the first, you know, 1,000 meters.
Mhm.
And then when people start falling off, she's going to be like, all right, hold on, hold on. She's going to like try to keep holding on, holding on. And then there's going to be a point where she's not going to be able to hold on anymore. And she's still going to finish strong, but someone like El Purio is just going to pull away from her. And I think a thing ends up running like 4:20, 4:27. That's what I think she ends up running.
I have no clue how it's gonna go. No, I'm at a
No,
loss.
4:28, 4:28, 4:28. She's going
Usually
4:28.
I'm not saying I'm right about most things or really anything with this, but or with any time we make a hypothetical prediction about how would X do in Y race. But this one I'm completely at a loss because on one hand, like I just read the credentials of all those women. So it's like Anna Kent Bennett just won the 1500 at NCAA's. That just in the same meet where Athing Mu won the quarter, Anna Kent Bennett ran or sorry, Athing Mu won the 8. No, sorry, what did she run? She ran the 4 at NCAA.
400.
Sorry. Yeah, it's crazy to think that she could beat the person who in the same meet won the 1500. And then you look at there's a bunch of women in here who we'd say are even a level above her in terms of experience and PBs. So then you're thinking, all right, is Mo going to finish near the back? But then one number pops into my head, Gordon. You know what that number is?
What?
155. Is it wise to bet against someone who's run 155 in the 800 when they go to the 1500? If we only knew that one fact, what would we think her potential is in the 1500? The problem is we think of her as 4'8", as we should, because she's the NCAA champion in the quarter. And that's ridiculous to think. But if you just look at her 800 PB, you're like, all right, she's going to hang. She's going to do exactly what you said, or maybe even better. But then on the flip side, you're thinking, well, who's she gonna beat? There are no weak links in this field, and it's going to be really tough. So I have both competing thoughts in my head, and that's why this is so fascinating to me. And I'm so appreciative as a track fan that she's doing it because we rarely get this sort of attempt by an athlete.
Yeah,
And I
this
don't
is
care that
like
it's early January or early season. I don't care it's indoors. The fact that she's doing it against this good field, it counts for something in my book.
yeah, this reminds me of like the fun like who would have won in a 600, Usain Bolt or like Mo Farah. You do like these weird
Yeah,
like dream scenarios on these weird off events. This is exactly what everyone would be thinking. What would a thing Mo do in a mile? Right? It's like that.
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, she has clearly the speed. She can kick 155, but can she do that for 4 laps? I don't know. I mean, she's a world class athlete, so it's not like she's gonna need to stop and get a cup of water and be like have to take a break after lap 3 because she
yeah,
won't be able to handle it. Because clearly she can handle pushing her body to extreme limits. But you just don't know. You don't know. Is her body? I mean, Donovan Brazier. We kind of were
yeah,
like kind of
yeah,
surprised when he ran his 1500, his 337, and that's why I'm thinking if Donovan did that, Donovan was not. I mean, Donovan was like a 4'8" guy, even though Donovan did do a little bit of miling in high school, but he became mainly a 4'8" type person the way he was training. I think similar to a thing Mo.
yeah,
But if Donovan can run 335, 337, I have to think that a thing Mo can at least break 430. And then
yeah,
I don't know though if she can run sub 420 though, as Tampa Eagle just mentioned in the comments. Because that if you're running sub 420, that would be like Donovan Brazier running like 332, which maybe he could do now that I think about it, because Donovan Brazier is a freak athlete. But first race, I don't think we're gonna get craziness. I think first race, there's a little bit of confusion. You like your body hasn't been to this point, right? She's
right.
never pushed herself like this, right? So she might be like, "Whoa, I'm not ready for this." But again, I think she's going to break the world record eventually in her career. And if I think you're going to break the world record, I have to think that you can handle a mile. So yeah, I'm just like you.
Yeah,
My brain goes back and forth like it's like the devil and angel over your shoulders. You have like she can do it, she can't do it, she can do it, she can't do it, and so I'm kind of like stuck in the middle. That's why I think she's gonna finish. Okay, I'm gonna predict her finish. She's gonna finish one. Two, I think she finishes fifth, and she finishes in the 420s. She finishes
yeah.
fifth. I'm just going fifth. Fifth place is what I'm going with.
That's a sa-
Which is
that's a safe pick. That's a safe
yeah.
pick. That is a hedge right there. And I don't blame you for hedging because I don't have any clue either. Sometimes when we talk about a race going in, we say, man, anything could happen. No result would surprise me. But that's not actually true, right? Like, there's definitely things that could surprise you. This, with her, I literally mean it. She could finish any place, and I would not be surprised by any one of those outcomes. at all. And part of that, most of that is because of her, but the other part is just how good of a field she's running it. Now, if you add in Safan Hassan, Faith Kipyegon, Laura Mir to this field, then I would genuinely say I would be shocked if she finished, top two or top three. But with this field, again, the 155 is what throws me off. If she never ran a quarter last year, Gordon, let's just say she did her freshman year at A&M and then all the way through to the Olympics, she only ran the 8 and then she ran 155. And let's just say we had no 400-meter reference points for her at all. Like going back to high school, like she only ran the 800. I think we would think she has a better chance at the mile. I
Yeah,
think
her
her
400.
400-meter PB is holding us back from
Yes.
seeing what's possible with her. I think her 400-meter NCAA title makes us think she can't do it. And in many cases, that would be true with athletes because it would give us an indication of how they're training. But Athing Mu could completely break that mold. She could totally change how we think of running and track and field in terms of what athlete can excel at what event.
Yeah, it's incredible that her success is what we think is gonna be her downfall in this, which makes
You have
sense
too much
because,
speed.
yeah, too much speed. Too much speed. You're too much of a good thing. Imagine coach being like, "Listen here, son. Listen here, lady. You have too much speed. You got to slow down. If you want to be world class, you got to be slower. You got to be a
Yeah,
slower runner." That's basically what we're saying. She's too fast
yeah.
for the mile. She's her speed makes her slow, which makes no sense when we say it out loud on a podcast. We sound stupid, but that's what we're known, right? We've always known that like the faster you are, the slower you are at the longer events, right? That's just like track
Yeah, it
101.
goes both ways.
We don't
Well,
we don't expect
we
Christian
see people
Coleman to
fitting in this
break 4 in the
continuum.
mile, you know?
Or even a quarter for him. We don't expect him to
Yeah.
be a great 400-meter runner. We don't have now Fred Curley, Sharika Jackson, those people have kind of shaken things up. But this is a whole different level because you're going from 400, which people define as a long sprint, to the 1500, which is just completely absurd. This is she's basically taking what she did in AAUs. Remember? She won she won 3 of the 4 events and got second. The other one she went 2, 4, 8, 15. But okay, you could do that in AAUs. You're not supposed to be able to do that when you become a pro runner. You're not supposed to be relevant in more than 2 events. And even 2 is a stretch if you're going across a big bridge like you are with the 4 to the 8. And listen, maybe she'll run this. Maybe she'll get 12th and she'll run a 428. And then we'll be like, all right, that was amazing still. That's still an incredible effort. But there's clearly a limit here. But I'm not
So
going to count on that outcome happening. I'm not going to count on that happening because, again, I don't want to bet against a 155 800 meter. Like when her PB in the 800 is like 2 seconds better than everybody else in the field, that's worth something in the mile.
so here's the thing. We only get 3 more days of thinking about a Thing Mo miler in an unknown way, right? Because it's going to be known on Saturday at the Millrose
Yeah,
Games.
I know.
So